Good evening and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Alex Monti alongside Nazir Spencer. For the next few minutes, we'll present our top 5 sports stories of the week and discuss why they made the top 5. Did your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At number 5, the Celtics are no longer first in the Eastern Conference as the 76ers take the number 1 spot. The Nuggets are still first in the Western Conference, however, the Mavericks are closing in on them. Nazir, what are some of your predictions as the season continues?
I'm going to start with the 76ers. I will say this, and I'll say this one time. James Harden is the problem. Even though last night he played pretty good against the Nuggets, who are number 1 in the West, without Jamal Murray. But James Harden is the problem. The Embiid is proving that right now. But back to the stats. Luka Doncic, offensive leader, with 32.6 points per game, above my boy Steph. I think Steph's averaging 30.7 points or something like that. Jokic, defensive leader, with 13.7 rebounds per game. And we got the Indiana Pacers just going absolutely berserk with Tyrese Halliburton at the helm. He is literally just destroying everybody that comes in his way with 15 assists, 16 assists. It doesn't matter what it is. He's involving all his teammates. I respect it. I love it. And the Timberwolves as a team right now are defensive leaders, and that is a shock to me because I did not have them being that good this year. But then I remembered the guy on that team, Anthony Edwards, who I love dearly because his game is just is perfect to me. But I will say this again. I love Victor Wembanyama, but Asar Thompson is really taking his spot right now as Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, because my first option was Scoot, but he's injured and he's not doing me justice right now, and I look really bad taking him. But Asar Thompson, keep a lookout with him. He's on the Detroit Pistons.
For me, a team to look out for, Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel like that's going to be a fun one to keep an eye on. And number 4, after 10 weeks of the NFL season, players like Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Davante Adams are seen as the best wide receivers in the league. Nazir, who do you think is the best wideout in the NFL?
Well, I think I'm leaning more towards Tyreek Hill because he's already at 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, which is ridiculous. Justin Jefferson would be up there if he, wasn't injured right away and missed those 4 weeks, but he's coming back this weekend, which I'm excited to see. Davante Adams will also be up there if he had a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is not the move, and Aiden O'Connell is still getting his footing in. Stephon Diggs needs to get out of Buffalo, like his brother said the other day. I love him. He deserves better. Come to the Chargers. We need you. And Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is fine. I'm a little bit of a Bengals hater. I love Jamar Chase too, but they're my rival. But someone told me this the other day. A.J. Brown should be considered a top 3 receiver in the league right now, considering the circumstances that Eagles are in right now, because he's just great. He mosses pretty much everybody. He's like a mini Megatron, which is unbelievable to say, but it's coming to life this year. And hopefully the Eagles can utilize him some more, even in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of names to keep an eye out for. One that is a personal favorite of mine is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, he's really been killing it, obviously killed the Chargers pretty well. But I mean, even going into this season, a bold prediction of mine was that he was going to establish himself as an elite receiver. As you had mentioned, A.J. Brown, another name that wasn't on there, CeeDee Lamb. I feel like the Cowboys, everybody hates on him easily, but CeeDee Lamb has been another solid one. And Keenan Allen, always the sleeper. And number 3, the UW Whitewater volleyball team wins the WIAC tournament after defeating UW Oshkosh over the weekend. Now they'll face Coe College this Thursday for the first round of the NCAA Division III Championship. Nazir, how do you think the Whitewater volleyball team will do against Coe College?
Sweep. I think it's a sweep. I don't think we need to even discuss that. Our team is amazing. I will sit here and say that I am the first one to apologize to this team because I did not think we stood a chance against Oshkosh, because when I covered that game against Oshkosh earlier this year, we just did not look the same. We did not look like ourselves, and we showed out on Saturday. And completely blew them out of the water. Kirsten Anderson and Jenna Weinford had 13 kills. Allie Warburton had 7 kills. UW Whitewater had 4 aces overall. Morgan Jensen had 28 digs overall. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There is just everyone's a superstar in that team, and I think we're really set for this tournament. It's going to be a long tournament, 64 volleyball teams, I'm pretty sure. So it's like March Madness. So it's going to be a game every day, and it's just going to come down to whether or not we really want it or not.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the records, Coe College 21-11, Whitewater's at 26-4, so they've got the advantage there. They've really established themselves throughout the year. It's just going to be a matter of how they respond to beating Oshkosh. This was the biggest game of the year, so to really win the tournament is going to be big, but it's just going to be a matter of responding to after. Don't let the excitement get to them. Don't let that be just kind of the end of your season, and you got to be able to move past it and look at the teams ahead. We've got more coming up on the list, including possible MVP for C.J. Stroud and NCAA D3 football playoffs. We'll be right back.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories. Even the night before, I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW-TV.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! That's it anyways. Oh, she got that. Oh, they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Welcome back to the list on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top sports stories. At number 2, rookie C.J. Stroud is making a strong case this season for the NFL MVP. Stroud has led the Texans to a 5-4 record, allowing them a chance to be a wild-card team or division winner. This year, do you think C.J. Stroud can win MVP?
Absolutely. I mean, he's playing absolutely outstanding. Stroud is second in the NFL in passing yards through Week 10 with 2,626 yards. He's 7th in touchdown passes with 15. He only has 2 interceptions. Guys, if Patrick Mahomes was doing that right now on the Texans, he'd be an automatic MVP, and there would be no conversation. I understand that he's a rookie and he has still a lot to learn, but he has not been playing like a rookie whatsoever. My prediction is if he wins this division, if he beats the Jaguars again in about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, They win the division, they make the playoffs. He is automatic MVP. There should be no discussion over that at all. Texans won over the Bengals 30-27. The Bengals, who have ran the AFC pretty much alongside with the Chiefs every single year. The Texans beat them. It was by 3. I will give them that. But some mistakes were made along the way. Again, it's C.J. Stroud. He's a rookie, but he's playing at the MVP level better than most quarterbacks in the league right now. I don't think it's even a debate. He should be in the conversation automatically.
You know, he's really been putting up a great year, as you had mentioned. I mean, you look at some of the pieces around him, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, a lot of like newer pieces around. But it'll be interesting to see. Would be the first time since Jim Brown did it as a rookie in 1957. And now it's time to reveal our #1 sports story of the week. The UW-Whitewater football team made it to the playoffs after defeating UW-Eau Claire. Whitewater wraps up the regular season with a 9-1 record and now faces Bethel University in the first round of the playoffs. Nazir, what are your thoughts on this game this weekend?
I'm excited to, watch that game. I'm a little nervous, obviously, because it's playoffs and, it's win or go home at this point. But we have all the weapons in the world. Joey Antonetti's on the defense. He's my defensive player of the year for Whitewater automatically. He's an automatic, just force on the defense. He creates that defense. He makes big plays when it matters. Tamir Thomas is also an amazing player. He had an 85-yard touchdown on the second play of the game last week. I mean, if he's back to health like he usually is, it's going to be a really, really long day for Bethel on Saturday, in my opinion. But he posted, 191 yards, and he was only about 8 yards off for 1,000 yards, which really sucked because I really wanted him to get it, and I was really rooting for him. But it is what it is. He's going to be able to add to those stats this weekend. But I have a good feeling about it. We're on a good side of a bracket right now. We don't have Northwestern or anybody or whoever's on La Crosse's side. That's a really hard side of the bracket, in my opinion. But I'm only worried about Bethel right now, one game at a time. I talked to head coach Rindall this morning, interviewed him, but he's confident, and if he's confident, we all should be. So.
Yeah, that should be a good one. It's going to be a matchup between run and run, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. And that will do it for this edition of The List. We'll be back next week to talk up the sports headlines. For Nazir Spencer, I'm Alex Monty. See you then.